When we fall asleep, where do we go? I want you to trust that I'm your friend who's scared that they might have found out. The finding of this makes me feel lonely and misunderstood. I've been mourning the ability to take part in the parallel universe I believe I experienced. I'll add here unwillingly. I'm here now to document the Wild West that I saw in the hope someone else might get it. I am so desperate for a friend to speak to about all this. Maybe you can help? It's an accident to write about. I'm scared. Not every memory is pleasant from this experience, in fact, far from. I still don't understand everything I saw, which makes the memories, in a flattering adjective, haunting. So yeah, I need your help, your understanding, I need your validation and puzzle solving. Help me. I'll tell you everything I've seen. Help me believe I'm not crazy. If anything, I ask that you at least stay open to understanding my story as I lean on your shoulder while I try. To begin, I will tell you that I'm feeling insanely guilty. The guilt because it still feels like I have abandoned many people I love, yet had only just met. Only just met in what I can only refer to as a dream that was real. I was elsewhere. A dream that begs me to ask myself, and now you, where do we go when we sleep? If you are a growth mindset person, when I asked you the question about your whereabouts while sleeping, that question makes the eyes in your head and your heart swivel right. You literally look to the corner of your right eye. It's spooky, but I learned a lesson in this other realm about why that instinctive behavior sets us apart. More on that later. If you did think right, with your eyes as I've just described, be excited. I think you're one of the people that are going to get this story. Welcome. Also welcome to me. I've never written before, so there's going to be times I seek your grace and blind eye to my awful grammar and even worse spelling mistakes. I've written as fast and authentically as I could so I can get this story tangible enough for you to take part in with me. I really believe there's something in the lessons I learned for all of us. After a bit of pity-party context setting I feel I need to give you, I'm going to need you. This has felt like open heart surgery on my emotions. Strap in, my love. It's going to be quite the ride in time. Even if this is just all imagination. I should have said goodbye. I'm so angry at myself that I didn't. It's probably the whole reason for me sharing this part of my life with you. I don't look up to anyone who would just leave any of this without saying goodbye. I'm ashamed how this story ends and how I left. In another world far from here, I lived an existence where my soul plays a part in the battle of good versus evil. I visited this place I felt, and which you'll see I had been before, but I left them, yet again. I left them just after reappearing and creating hope. Not the throwaway hope, whatever I have heard it before kind, but the kind of hope that inspires and creates the new feeling in hearts. The feeling that can move mountains. The glory part that makes you cry in the really good love movies. Soon you will meet them. All these characters I saw and started to bond with that I feel such shame to have left in the horrific, nasty disaster it ended in. By them. I think of these people as my them, these people. They were real to me. I truly, really would adore them becoming the them people to you too. I hope I do these them special people justice. In my Zoe untrained poor attempt at dream documenting, I couldn't say goodbye, but I can hopefully make them part of history. Or try to. A few of you are on this journey now with me. Those that naturally looked right with their eyes when I asked you where do we go when we sleep. I would like to imagine you're actually one of the them people I've grown fiercely to adore. The visits you're about to hear about, the whole story you're going to come with me on, showed me unforgetful, believe me I've tried, data that it's not the first time I do abandon these them people and this terrifying realistic realm. The last memory I have of this experience is leaving the people fighting for good to suffer without my help. I sound nuts, right? You need to get me a little more for this to make slight sense. It all started as I lay down in my room. I'm in Mexico on a retreat. A few months prior to this retreat, I broke up with Alex. Absolutely, without shadow of doubt, Alex is the man that gave me the experience of romantic real love. For the people at the back, real love. It's important you remember Alex. He plays a huge role in the alternate universe I astral projected to. Our breakup did then, and still does to this day, crush me. While writing this, I'm even more sure I lost someone who believed in me, truly saw me for me, brought light to my world, watered my weeds, and taught me to take care of my mind like a garden. He shone a light so elegantly on the shadows of me. Without him, I wouldn't have grown into this human who can share such a profound experience that I hope inspires many. Do you also have a person that woke a little part of you up that won't shut up now? After all that I've seen, been through and grown through, it's heartbreaking that he saw who I could be, yet now cannot be with me as I'm her. I know, and I think you do too, there's a lot more to you than you know. Don't lose sleep over it, especially with an eye mask on. None of us find it all in this lifetime. We will get to see glimmers. I'm sharing this crazy world I experienced as a multiple dream exposure that I need your help to make sense of fully because I found some of my purpose and values in each scene. It rocked my world, shook my core, and forced the phoenix out of me. I know now that life has to burn a little before you rise from the ashes. This story is the ashes. Let this be your story as much as it is mine. Let yourself and your mind wander, and it will be chaotic. I'll do my best to piece together the dreams and visits. Know that. I promise that, and nothing else. I learnt a lot. It's been a dream. Not even going to apologize for the pun. I'm annoyingly proud of it. I believe you might find guidance and the same lessons I learned in my horrific yet romantic story. That's if you pay close attention. I hope truly you'll see. Before the retreat, I believed I was healing from the breakup. Time is passing, they say it heals. In my experience, it doesn't. At this time, I was clocking a few months of mourning a breakup. I've moved home, which was unsettling in its own right. I began bullying myself. I was so awful to me, saying and thinking terrible things inside that I would punch the living daylights out of someone that said them to someone I loved. I was confused, bruised, and too proud to reach out for help to comfort my pain. In my emotional agony, I became the most wonderful actress. I acted so well because I felt my pain would be a burden, but learned later my silence, my false connections, my obviously grey presence was an insult and bruise of its own to those closest to me. I'll put the violin away in a minute. You'll appreciate this context later, and hopefully understand why I'm telling you all this. In my acting era of this story, I didn't submit to character failure, in the breakup sense. I was journaling badly. I began attempting yoga in the morning. I restarted running. I was staying in at the weekends and having baths an unnecessary amount of times a week. Kudos to Lush. Their Dragon Egg Bath Bomb is an OG favorite of mine now. Time heals was such an insult as a phrase, an intended comfort statement. It still gives me the ick. My world then inside was so hollow and dark. It's hard to write this down. My eyes did some serious overtime with tear production. I couldn't escape. The world was a trigger. I saw Alex everywhere. Even now, I have to stop looking for him in everyone. I sought a retreat in Mexico for healing in general. You know, life healing. Space to recalibrate. Or so I told myself. If I'm honest, I sought it for moving on from the end of the relationship I still felt so much a part of, but so left on my own with. She got it bad, right? She being me. She then went somewhere not in the world we know. She saw her and Alex have had a love that's battled many hundreds of years of lifetimes, while always ending in tears and heartbreak. She must choose this exact fate every single time. It's horrible, but it's heroic. I feel corny here, but maybe the only chance I get in my life while it's so fitting to say, once upon a time,